Yo, good morning, freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, freedom fighters. It is Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. And I wanted to talk about this because I feel like it's very important that we understand the most detrimental issue we're facing today in this country they call the United States. The most crucial component, the most crucial, critical topic that we have to talk about. The most crucial. It's not the economy, right? Although, I will say, this overlaps with the economy. So, you could say that this and the economy are equally important because they affect each other on a large scale, not just a small scale, but a large macro scale. But a macro scale, this issue affects the economy. All right, they overlap. But in regards to the economy is affected by many factors. But this issue that I want to talk about that is in the title is in regard to immigration. All right, legal immigration or illegal immigration, criminal immigration, however you want to frame it. This is the most critical, crucial component that we're facing today. Right? Number one, economically, we cannot afford to have these people in this country that are here. The 10 million people that came into this country last 3 years. We cannot afford to keep them here. We cannot afford to sustain their life, because that's basically what we're doing, right? Many of the people that can't come over here, we have to sustain the lifestyle. We have to sustain their living, right? We have to, do we understand that? Like, we are the extortion victims of the United States, right? They call us taxpayers, but it's really extortion. So they use our extortion money to house and feed these people, right? To move them about the country, because guess what? They get free airplane vouchers to travel wherever they want in the country, right? Meanwhile, we have to pay hundreds of dollars to fly 500 miles. But the ones who pay into the society, we're the ones that have our funds extorted to pay for shit. But they're the ones that get free plane vouchers, they get free food, they get free housing, right? They displace sheltered veterans. They displace sheltered veterans to house these people, right? They move around funds from other things that we put money into, like the police departments, welfare for actual citizens, a number of different things that we put money into, right? They move it around to accommodate these people. So economically, we cannot afford to have these people here. Not only can we not afford to have more and more people coming in, we cannot afford to maintain the people that are here, right? And yeah, do some of them go get jobs? Sure they do. Sure, they go get jobs. But they don't report their jobs, right? They don't have to, they work under the table. Or they use fake names, they use fake social security numbers, they use fake birth certificates, they use fake IDs to go get these jobs. So what does that mean in reality? In reality, they're not paying into the system, right? Those that do, pay into the system are very few, because they're using fake identification, they're using fake social security numbers, they're using fake documentation to get these jobs where, I mean, the employers don't really vet them, right? They don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they'll take the money out of your check. And when you try to give it to the IRS, guess what? They can't give it to them because this person doesn't exist, right? That the person doesn't exist in reality. So we can't afford economically to have the people here that are here, let alone to allow more of them to come across the border into this country, right? To drain the resources. Drain the resources. Now, as an anarchist, I do believe in freedom of travel. I do believe that no one owns the land, essentially. And, you know, what I'm saying is an anarchistic society is a society with no borders, basically. Right? No borders, but you do have your property, your personal property, your territory that you maintain yourself, that you keep up. And if anybody were to try to invade that and take that from you, you have every right to defend it, because guess what? You are sustaining and maintaining that land. You are defending it. You are storing on it. You are hunting and fishing and doing all these things. You're building the shelters. You are maintaining the land through regenerative farming, whatever you got to do. Yes, you can see that as your land, your territory, your property. Right? Sure. Right? But in between that, in between you and your neighbor, is a freedom of travel amongst. Right? But guess what? We don't live in an anarchistic society. The United States is not an anarchistic system. They have created a world where borders are necessary. Right? Borders are necessary due to the actions of governments all over the world, because of their adversarial nature towards each other, due to their competing for resources, due to the greed, due to we got to have more land, we have to be an imperial society, we have to, you know, we have to conquer every land, we have to do this, we have to do that, right? We have to rape and pillage all over the world. Due to these actions, borders are necessary, right? Because you don't want some guy with fire sticks, right? You don't want some guy with fire sticks going around slaughtering your people. You know what I'm saying? Because the stick goes boom and all of a sudden your partner drops dead. And you're like, oh, these motherfuckers got magic, right? Oh, they're using fire sticks to kill our people. Meanwhile, I only have a bow and arrow, and I have swords and spears. You know what I'm saying? So I can't stand up against them, right? Because they have these things where they don't have to draw, and they don't, you know what I'm saying? The arrow doesn't travel that far, but these magical things, they can strike you from hundreds of yards away. Like these things, this is why borders are necessary. Because certain groups and countries and elite classes, they have gone around the world creating chaos, destabilizing, spreading democracy all over the world. And guess what? The people back at home who have nothing to do with their imperial masters going around conquering everything, they have to worry about retaliation. They have to worry about retaliatory acts from the people that have been victimized by your government, by their government. So borders are necessary. Borders are necessary as of right now. And they will probably always be necessary. You understand that? Borders will always be necessary. We don't live in a world where everybody minded their own fucking business and was able to freely trade amongst each other without hostility. No, we had to be greedy. We had to have. Even though we live in a country where it sustains us. Okay? Our land sustains us. Oh yeah, we don't have the cotton, we don't have the gold, the level of gold these people have, but so fucking what? You know what I'm saying? Oh, they don't know what to do with their gold. They don't care anything about it. They're still savages. They still, you know, they still walk around with loincloths on. So the fuck what? Does that give you carte blanche to go into their land and extract their resources and all these other things? Rape their people, kill their kill the men, kill the warriors because you have superior firepower. That's the reality. The reality of the world we're living in today is that all these superpowers, all these great countries, well, they got that way because of the heinous acts they have committed across this world. And the people that hold them up, the people that live under the rulership of these monarchies, of these governments, of these of these totalitarian governments. Well, hell, I mean, they're also victims of their own leaders. So, well, guess what? I'm an imperial master. I've conquered all these countries. Well, they want to retaliate. I can't just let them come over here and start slaughtering our people. Oh, no, that wouldn't be just at all. No, I have to, guess what? We have to create borders. We have to create borders. So the reality right now is we have borders for a reason. And economically, we cannot afford to have these people coming over here, have these people stay here and extract our resources. Extract our resources. You understand? Because we do have resources in this country, right? We do have resources. We have oil, we have natural gas, we have minerals. This is a mineral-rich country. The United States is a mineral-rich country. Not as rich as Africa, but we are a mineral-rich country. We have gold and oil everywhere, right? We have gold, we have silver. Well, hell, we have a lot of the things that they have over in Taiwan that they use to make the semiconductors, to make the microchips. We have that here as well, but they just, they'd rather have Taiwan mine for all the uranium and whatnot, and not do it over here. Although you claim environmental is this, environmental is that. We love the environment, but you will trade with Taiwan for them to mine their land and to mine their country. Well, the last I checked, no country exists in a bubble. No country exists in a vacuum. This atmosphere surrounds the entire world. There aren't sectioned off atmospheres for each country. No. It's like we talk all this about how our carbon footprint in the United States. We have some of the lowest carbon footprints, right? China and India, they have the highest carbon footprint. But guess what? We don't give them shit about their carbon footprint. We give ourselves shit about our carbon footprint, even though we have one of the lowest carbon footprints in the world. Because we have technology that can sequester the carbon from the air, and we have things like scrubbers and engines and whatnot that will scrub the carbon from that and that goes into the air. So let's say you use fuel and gasoline, right? As you're burning the gasoline, there are scrubbers in the exhaust system that trap the carbon and just puts out the other things, right? The other particles of waste. We have that technology, and you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, the hole in the ozone got closed up, right? So what I'm saying is, we give ourselves shit about pollution and all these other things. We blame ourselves, or actually, our government guilt trips us and convinces us that we have this high carbon footprint. We got to do this. Oh, we got to stop eating meat. We got to stop doing this. We got to stop doing that. But they ain't giving shit. They ain't giving China shit. They're not giving India shit for the level of pollution that they're contributing. Because guess what? The entire world, we live under the same atmosphere as China and India. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't just stay over China. It doesn't just stay over India, right? It goes all over the place. It moves around. That's how this shit works. But nonetheless, we, the people of the United States, who they call citizens, those of us they call citizens, we have to make up for everything all over the world. We have to pay to make the world better. We have to give up. They have to extort us so that they can pay for us to fix the entire fucking world. But that's not really their goal. That's what they're telling us they want to do. No, they're using our funds to go over into these countries that they're giving all this money to, right? Because they want something from these countries. They want to extract their resources. They want to use their people for cheap labor. They want to get free things from, you know what I'm saying? So this is what they're doing. All these wars, all this type of shit. We have to accept all these illegal immigrants that they're calling refugees, and they're calling this, that, and the third, seeking asylum. We have to put them up. In certain states and cities, they want us to give up a room to these illegal immigrants that you don't know fucking about. You don't know shit about them, but you should give a room to them. You should give up your home to these people. It's the right thing to do, right? We have to kick the veterans out the shelter and put these motherfuckers in. They make us believe that we have to do these things like this. This is the right thing to do. We have to displace our own people to make room for these people. It's the right thing to do. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. We can't afford it. We can't afford it. But what's the hot button issue right now? What's the hot button issue in regards to this election and the presidential race? What's the hot button issue? Oh, Kamala Harris. Is she black or is she Indian? Oh, Kamala Harris ain't black. Kamala Harris is black. Oh, she like chicken and watermelon too. Oh, let's go twerk for Kamala. Right? Man, what the fuck is wrong with, like, come on, man. What are Kamala Harris's policies? When she goes and speaks in front of the press and she's using the teleprompter, she's not answering questions. You know what I'm saying? She's what are we doing here, man? What's the purpose? Right? What is Kamala Harris's policies? I'm gonna tell you what her policies are. The policy of Kamala Harris is the policy of the Biden administration. It's just a continuation. It's going to be continuation, but except it's going to be exponentially amplified. What's going on in what has been going on in these last 3 years, and what's going on now, will be exponentially amplified, right? Because Kamala Harris, this is the Harris administration. It's the Biden-Harris administration. It's just going to be a continuation. It's going to be worse. Because now she got this guy Walz in there, who was a stomp down liberal, right? Not even a stomp down liberal. No, I don't like that word. No. He is a stomp down socialist who believes that parents should lose their children if they don't affirm the gender they want to be today. He believes in that. He believes in, if you do not give your child gender affirming care, if you have a son who says that he's a girl, you don't go ahead and get him sex changed. He believes that you should have that child taken away from you and given to people that would allow it. He's one of those. He's one of those. He's one of those. As far as the defund the police, I don't give a fuck about that. Fuck the police. I don't get a hot. That's not going to sway me. You telling me that, oh, they want to defund the police. I can give a hot damn about the police. Let's defund them so they can get their fucking act together. As a matter of fact, let's break up. Let's remove the police departments from the control of the municipalities and the states and the federal government, and put the people in charge of the police departments. Right? Let's privatize police departments so that they have to compete for our business. If they have to compete and bid for our business, guess what that means? If they want to keep our business and win our business, they have to have good customer service skills. They have to be courteous. They have to actually serve and protect the people, right? So I am all in favor of privatizing police forces. Let each community and each city, let them hire through contract private police forces, right? That way, guess what? We're paying for quality policing, where we vet the people that are going to join the force. They had to be vetted thoroughly. They had to be put through psychological evaluations on a regular basis to maintain their position. And if they get into an incident where there is a shooting death, they had to be thoroughly investigated. And while they're being thoroughly investigated, they cannot police. They cannot police until it is determined that the killing or the shooting or whatever it is justified. Remove qualified immunity. Well, that won't need to happen because guess what? They're going to be private police forces. That is my answer and my solution to police reform. Police reform is privatizing the police forces. Yeah. That means, guess what also that means? The hiring priorities will go to those individuals that live in the community. Yeah. If you want to police our community, if you want to gain our contract, you have to have 50% of your force. No, fuck that. 75% of your police force has to come from the people within that community. Because they're going to have the greatest investment and they're going to have the greatest care for that community. And they are going to know the people within that community so that they can better police and serve that community. So, again, that is my answer to it. So, guess what also that does? Let's say if you have a community that is riddled with gang activity. Well, instead of the youngsters, the young folks being recruited into gangs, they can be recruited into the private police department. They can be recruited into the private security force. They can be molded and shaped and socialized and groomed in a good way to serve the community and keep the community safe, as opposed to putting the community in danger via crossfire and between rival gangs. Guess what that does? That essentially reduces the size and the influence of that gang in that community. And the warriors within that community that feel the need to defend the territory and feel the need to be on a warrior shit, they can do it in the right direction. They can do it in a positive way. They can train, they can go to the range, you know what I'm saying? They can do all these things and while they're serving and protecting the community. And guess what? That warrior spirit they have that has to be directed, it can be directed in a positive direction. It can be directed in a positive direction. So that is my answer to police reform. That is how I see police reform. I mean, I know it's not, has nothing to do with, well, it does actually, because guess what? While you're cultivating and building a force that actually wants to serve and protect the community because they're given the incentive to, right? Because they have to be of quality to maintain their contracts with the community. Guess what? they can also be more incentivized to protect the people within their community from these illegal criminal aliens that are going around doing the things that I'm going to talk about next. The other element as to why we cannot afford for this illegal immigration to continue. I talked about the economic. I talked about the financial impact. We simply cannot afford it economically. Socially, we cannot afford it. So we're getting into the socialism, or not socialism, the societal reasons why we can't. And that is the element of criminality that these people bring to our communities. Right? They are going around raping, and murdering our children. Raping and murdering our children. These people are getting caught committing certain crimes in certain sanctuary cities and states, and they're being released. They're being released only to commit more heinous crimes after they get back out. Like the bastard that killed Laken Riley down in Georgia. He got caught doing something to a child in New York. They released him. He didn't want to go to court, so he took his ass down to Georgia, Athens, I believe, where there is another sanctuary city. Even though the mayor tried to come out and say, "Oh, we never said it was a sanctuary," whatever the fuck. Laken Riley killed her. That is just a sample or an example of what is being done. They are releasing these people. They are catching them committing crimes, and they're releasing them. And they're killing police officers. They're killing children. They're killing adults. They're doing it. And that's why we can't afford it. We can't afford it for the sake of our children. Our children cannot afford to live in a place where this is being allowed to happen. Where tens of millions of people have came into this country, have invaded, that have not been vetted. They have not been background checked. We don't know what disease they may be carrying. We don't know anything about these people. They're just being released out into the country. To just fuck it. Let's just let them go roam free. Give them vouchers. Give them free food. Give them free housing. Give them free medical care and all this other shit. Things that our own people who are in dire straits do not get. We had to go to a long ass county building line to get $100 a week of general relief. We have to go and if God forbid you're married and you try to get welfare because you might be down and out and you're economically struggling, you have to you can't even be with the woman. You can't even be with your spouse. You can't even be with your girlfriend or boyfriend on paper in order to get shit, because guess why? Guess why? Oh, they're gonna come after you. They're gonna come after the person that actually has a job. So one spouse or one member of the couple can't have a job and be making less than $30,000 or $40,000 a year to qualify, or they can't have a job. They can't make $40,000. They can't make $2,000 or $3,000 over the threshold without. So the one spouse has to go sign up for welfare. They have to go sign up for food stamps. But their boyfriend or girlfriend, they can't be with them on paper. No, and then they have to put them up for child support. Yeah, we got to go through all that. Our children have to go through, get all these injections, and we have to show medical proof of this, that, and the third, just to get some aid from our own government. We had to go do all the paperwork. We had to go through interviews. We got to sit there and do this, that, and third. We have to be down and out. We have to be damn near homeless, kicked out on the street in order to go get what we actually put into. Yeah, you worked for maybe 5 or 6 years, put into the system, got your money extorted, all this, that, and the third. You paid your taxes. Oh, then you got laid off. for whatever reason, because maybe you were undercut by an illegal immigrant. Maybe there's a reduction in force because they're losing business. Whatever reason you got laid off or fired, that happened. You had to go get unemployment, right? You go get unemployment. You get a little. In California, you get a $450 a week max. $450 a week max, and that's supposed to sustain you. But you have been paying into this your entire working career. But these people come over here. They come over here. They ain't putting not a goddamn dime into this society. They ain't paid one dime in extortion fees. They haven't done any of that. They have not been a victim of the RICO that our government is committing upon us. Our government is committing RICO crimes against us every fucking day. You understand what I'm saying? But these people aren't victims. They come over here, they don't pay into anything. But they get free shit right off the bat. It's already there, waiting for them. It's like, you here illegally? Oh, here's some free shit. But if we try to get it, they call us all kind of names. We're lazy, we're this, we're that. But guess what, man? At least we're American citizens. At least we put into it. So you telling me when it's my turn to benefit from what I put in, I can't? I'm all kind of names and shit. But these people get to come over here and they just get it right away. Oh, they don't got to put shit into it. You see what I'm saying? And then they come over here and they commit all these crimes. And the worst thing yet is the trafficking. The rise in trafficking that has happened over the last 3 years. Child trafficking. Sex trafficking and labor trafficking. You're talking about labor trafficking, which is essentially slavery, right? These children and these people, they're being forced into labor, right? They're being trafficked into cheap labor. Slavery, chattel slavery, basically. And sex trafficking. So these children from these countries are being put through the system, and the system is giving them to whom? Traffickers. They've been doing that. They've been doing that with the citizens, right? Children, citizens that are put into the system. God forbid CPS takes a child. God knows where they're going to place them. But now, with the children coming over from countries that, and these children, we're not supposed to care about them because, they're illegals, right? They were brought over here illegally. We're not supposed to care about them because we're not supposed to care about them, but we do. We should. That's a problem. Now we're talking about sex trafficking and labor trafficking. One of these rings got broken up, right? One of these rings got busted. One of these trafficking rings where they were using children for labor trafficking, for labor, and for sex. Right? They got busted. And guess what? Guess what they were doing? They were using these vouchers. Now we're talking about illegal people, right? Non-citizens that got caught with this traffic ring. And guess who was involved? Members of the military were involved. But these people, they were using free plane vouchers to fly about the country and conduct their business. Yeah. These traffickers, they're using vouchers that our government gives them, that we pay for out of our own extortion dollars. We are giving them money and we're giving them vouchers to operate their business of trafficking. Right? Right? Yeah, that's what's happening. Oh, and it's not like, oh, well, we'll just stick to the illegal children. No, we'll just stick to the immigrant children. No. They're still taking our children as well. They're just increasing the inventory to satisfy the demand. Fuck this goddamn traffic, man. Oh, this goddamn traffic. Fucking Atlanta. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. But this is what's going on. So socially, we can't afford it either. But no. What's more important? It's Kamala Black. It's Kamala Black. If Trump were smart, he wouldn't be focused, and JD Vance, they should not be focused on whether or not Kamala's black. No. They shouldn't be focused on it. They should be focused on not even her days as an Attorney General of California. Why not? Well, that's important, right? Because of what she was doing, how she was acting as a prosecutor, and the type of crime she was prosecuting people for, and yes, she was holding people past their sentences. Okay, we know that. Use that too. But no. Focus on the policies of the current administration that she's a part of. Focus on the damage they're doing with this immigration and the inflation. Why are we talking about her color and why, like, what? Who gives a fuck? Like, what? Whether she's black or Indian, right? She's not black, but so what? All right, so we got that out the way. Now everybody knows that we don't think Kamala's black. Okay, cool. Yeah, she had people twerking for her. Okay, that's retarded. Yes, now she's pandering to the black community, of course. All right, let's point that out. Let's let it be known that we understand it. Okay, now let's move on to the bigger issues here. What is going on under her administration? Yes, it's her administration. It's the Biden-Harris administration. So what is being done under the administration to damage this country? What actions have been taken during their administration that will continue under her administration as the primary individual that runs the administration? Well, it's just going to be a continuation of what she's doing right now. Because she was put in charge of the border, right? She's in charge of the border, so guess what? That is her responsibility. She's responsible for what's going on at the border right now because she was put in charge. The vice president is not just supposed to be a glamour position. It's not just, okay, I'm a vice president. No, they're supposed to be doing some good. They're supposed to work too. They're supposed to be initiating policies. They're supposed to be writing up proposals for legislation and all that other shit. They can do the same shit. They're the 51st senator, or not the 51st. They're the 101st senator of the United States. They have voting power in the Senate. They are supposed to be doing shit, right? They're the tiebreaker in the Senate. So it's not a glamour position. She is supposed to be doing something. She is doing something. Right? What good has this administration done? They have not done any good. What are her policies? You know why she's not talking about her policies right now? You know why everybody's talking about, oh, well, Kamala has no policies? That's not true. Kamala has policies. Right? And this is what burns my hide about people like the clown shoe Lucas, who thinks that she's just going to do all this great shit for black people. When she told your black ass she ain't doing shit for you. But when they tell you who they are, believe them. She was very convincing. She was very convincing that she is not going to do shit for black people. And she laughed at it. She was very convincing and genuine. So, she's not going to do nothing for your black ass. Do you know why Kamala Harris don't talk about her policies? And why they don't ask her about policy and all this, that, and the third? Because the policies of the Harris administration are just going to be the same policies of the administration we're under now. It's the same shit. It's the same administration. Same thing, right? It's going to be the same actions. It's not going to change. It's going to change. It's going to change for the worse. If it's going to be a continuation of this current administration, and it's going to be, worse. It's going to be more. It's going to be more of the same, right? It's going to mutate into something worse, right? They want to replace 2 of the Supreme Court justices, and they want to do this, they want to do that. They want to legalize all these people. They want to give all these people that have come over here amnesty and the capability to vote. They want to give them social security numbers. They want to make them legal without going through the 5 years that people who actually petition to become citizens legally have to go through. So it's just going to be more of the same. It's going to be more of the same. And here is the last reason. It's not the last reason I'm going to state. It's not going to be the last reason, period. But we cannot afford an event. An event. We cannot afford the inevitable 9/11 level event that will occur, which I think is going to happen regardless of who's president, right? Because guess what? There's already 10 million people over here, right? There's, there's Chinese nationals, there, Iranian nationals, Jordanian nationals. As a matter of fact, 2 Jordanian nationals tried to infiltrate Quantico. They tried to infiltrate the Marine base in Quantico, of Quantico. And so, listen, y'all, listen. There is going to be an event. Listen, I don't want to be, doomy and gloomy, but it's just something that we should be prepared for. They have created an environment where they have the formula is already in place. The ingredients are already there, right? All these people are already over here. And we're not talking about, South American Latin people. No. They're just going to do their organized crime they're going to do their own thing. They're going to do the drugs, and they're going to do, the trafficking. They're going to do the gang activity and all that type of shit. No. The other types of nationals that are going to come over here, they're going to do the terrorist acts, the random political killings, the random political acts. It's not going to be random. It's going to be something. It's going to be crippling. It's going to be strategic. Whether it's, it could be a false flag, or it could be an actual thing. It could be something, what they call Leho, whatever. Let it happen on purpose. Lehop. It could be a Lehop, right? Like 9/11 was. 9/11 was either an inside job or it was an outside job with inside help. A Lehop. Let it happen on purpose. Let it happen on purpose. Right? It's going to, listen, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want that to happen. But I feel like it's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's going to happen within the next year or two, I believe. It's just something I believe, it's just too many things in place for it to happen. There's just too many things in place, and just be prepared for it, right? Prepare yourself, prepare your family, get fit. You know what I'm saying? Go to the range, go paintballing so that you can get your movements down, so that you guys get your teams together. Go to paintballing tournaments, and your free time, do things that are fun, that are going to prepare your family for what may come. You're going to have to, like I said, paintballing is a great way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can practice drills. You know what I'm saying? And you can compete against other teams and hone yourselves and all that type of shit. That's one of the best ways to do it. You could go to fight training. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say self-defense classes, because no, go to fight training. Put your family in MMA classes, right? Where they can learn how to strike, where they can learn tank down defense. They can learn some jiu-jitsu. These are things that you should be doing, right? Everybody wants to put their kids in soccer and they want to put the kids in soccer and football and basketball. But might I suggest track and field, right? Because especially track, right? Field, not so much, shot put and javelin. No. The sprints, long distance running, hurdles, these things are going to help prepare your children. They're going to help build their endurance and build their speed and help them hone their athleticism, right? Martial arts classes, boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, things like that. Paintballing, take your kids to the range, hunting, fishing. These things are going to help prepare, camping, going out camping, right? Doing a little survival training in the wilderness. These things are going to help prepare your children, right? Not soccer, not football, not basketball, right? I'm not putting my kids in that shit. I'm not putting my children in that shit. I'm putting my children in things where, I put them in volleyball and what's that called, with the stick that you do like this? I forgot what it's called. But, I'm even thinking about putting my daughters in barrel racing, with the horses. Because, hey, the horseback might be the best way to get around. So I would love for my children to learn how to ride horses, and barrel racing will help them, train them to use that horse to take tight turns and go real fast and jumps and all. Like, these are things that I'm looking to have my children participating in as opposed to, glamour sports, right? That don't really prepare your children for anything other than to be fit. Yeah, they'll be fit, they'll be strong, they'll be agile, but, think of paintball as like, it's like football, kind of, you know what I'm saying? You can make it feel like football, except, you're actually laying down suppressive fire, or you're flanking, or, you're doing tactical retreats. You can set up drills, you can practice, you can rehearse, you can do these things, you can do things under certain scenarios and all that type of shit. Hell, and even simunition. You can do the same thing with simunition. Simunition is like paintball, but with using real firearms, You're using real firearms, but you're just changing out the barrel, and you're changing the barrel out to accommodate the simunition rounds, so that you can fire simunition rounds out of a barrel made for simunition rounds. These are things that you could do to help prepare your family and make it fun and, all that other type of shit. And they're being active, functional fitness, functional. What function does it serve, right? What function does the type of fitness that you're participating in, what function does it have in real life, right? I'm just saying. We cannot afford to not be prepared. We cannot afford to not have our children participating in these types of activities. We can't. We have to be a lot more cognizant of and aware of what's going on in the world. What better way, than to teach your children how to hunt, teach your children how to fish, teach your children how to assault, teach your children how to tactically retreat, teach your children how to fight in close quarters, all that type of shit. Teach your children how to shoot, how to zero a weapon. Why not, man? Like, teach your children how to ride a horse. Teach your children how to change a horseshoe, and all these things. Man, oh man. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about for now, man. Hopefully I can inspire some people to look at things a little differently. Look at things a little different. Think about that. Think about it. If you want to put your children in sports, think about what you're doing while you're doing that. What is the reason you're putting them in the sport, right? You want them to socialize with other children. That's number one. Not number one, but that's one of the things. I'm not listing these things in order. You want them to be physically fit. You want them to be active. You want them to use their brains at the same time, right? You want them to exercise their brains. You want them to exercise their brains. So why not? And then, you know, you want them to compete. Maybe you want to be competitive, and you know, because competition brings out the best in certain people. So okay, you can do all that. And the things I just mentioned, they can compete in shooting, they can compete in hunting, they can compete in paintballing, they can compete in boxing, they can compete in Muay Thai. They're doing all these things in those sports. They're socializing, right? They're competing. They're building leadership qualities, right? They're learning to be leaders, because you can have a team captain on a Muay Thai team. You can have a team captain in a paintball team. You can have a team captain in shooting and competitive shooting and all that. You can have, you know what I'm saying? You can have a team. You can have team captains. You can build leadership skills doing all these sports. So I'm not knocking football and basketball. Yeah, we enjoy to watch it. You know, we enjoy it. Yes, of course. But it's time to look at things a little different, right? In my mind, it's time to think about what we're doing, what we're preparing our children for, what we're setting our children up for, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, think about this. Think about extracurricular activities. You want to put your children in extracurricular activities where they're doing, where they're getting extra credit and all that other type of shit. You know, think about what type of things they could do to get that extra credit. What the fuck? Motherfucker, you ain't gonna use your blinker at least? Piece of shit. Anyway, maybe, you know, maybe they can do extracurricular activities like something in the medical field, you know, where maybe emergency first aid, or something where they're actually doing something that is going to be helpful, right? All that type of shit. STEM classes, you know, you people want to do all this STEM stuff. Okay. All right. You want to do STEM. Like, what part of STEM? What part of STEM is actually going to be beneficial? Is it, you know, I don't know, whatever they do in STEM. What type of function is it going to serve to your children? Like, what kind of function is it going to have that's going to help them? You know, maybe, maybe your children might want to be interested in becoming veterinarians. You know, like farm animals vets. You know what I'm saying? Exotic animal vets. You know, something where, okay, well, you live on a farm, or you have neighbors that are farmers, and, you know, you can shadow a veterinarian who is going around and they're ensuring that the animals in these farms are getting healthy and not sick. All this type of shit. Yeah. That is something that you could look into. Hold on. Anyway, guys, let me get off of here. I think I've gone on enough, right? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, and we're gonna keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.